Hey everyone, I am going to clean my Altberg Defender boots. They're pretty dirty. They're not the worst, but they could use cleaning and polishing. So I'm going to do that today. We're going to start off with saddle soap to get them cleaned, and a brush, get off the initial dirt. And then we're going to go through with polishing through the leather grease kit, and I'll finish off with that. But first, what we're going to do is take out the laces so we can get a proper cleaning. These boots I've had for about a year, no, 2 years now. I'm just finally starting to wear them a lot and break them in, which is starting to require more maintenance. You can see the tips are knotted. This is just because they have a speed lace system. It's just easier to unlace and loosen them when you wear them often, to have the knots there, just so you don't actually pull them out of the eyelets. Of course, when you need to take the laces out fully, that's when it becomes a pain in the ass. Probably going to spend 5 minutes doing this. Part of the fun of doing live broadcast. Bloody hell. Get these goddamn laces out. If there's one thing I should have done before I went live, it's take these goddamn knots out. Yeah, there you go. It's coming. All right. Well, at least we know when it'll come loose in the field, which is what you're trying to avoid. All right, let's pop these guys out. These boots you'll find more common in Canada and in the UK, in Europe, because that's where they're produced, and they're standard issue British, I think British Army. I'm not sure what other areas it's issued standard in, but they're also permitted in the Canadian Armed Forces, which is why you'll find them here in Canada. I got these online half price, and so when I saw them half price, I was like, had to get them. They're a great pair of boots so far. They're water resistant, full leather. They have like a cement construction, but it's been going strong. Don't feel me. They're pretty light. I don't know the weight off the top of my mind, but I'll give you more details as I get cleaning. Jesus. So these are really tight too, because I've waxed the laces once. I'm going to re-wax them here, because that just helps protect them, keep dust and moisture out, and makes them last longer. Because there's one thing that can mess you up too. It's a busted lace in the field. Then you're using some type of cordage to make an impromptu lace, usually paracord or something. But if you can avoid that by taking care of your laces and protecting them, then that's always preferable. Holy shit. I'm going to be spending 10 minutes of this video just taking these knots out. All right. Hallelujah. Let's get these guys out. So you can see they've got a pretty good eyelet system where there's a few eyelets. We have the loops here, and then horizontal loops here to kind of lock them in, and then a locking lace here. So you could tie up the middle, cinch it in, and then speed lace all the way to the top. I'll zoom in and show you here. Oh, not working. Okay, let's get these clean. So it's good to get these all clean and dusted with an initial brush. And just get the initial crap out. Any dirt that's in there. Because once we saddle soap and wash these, you don't want it to get too mucky. Get in all the crevices and laces and get any remaining sediment out. We'll clean up the tongue as well. There you go. Get that boot. A quick brush, because they're not too bad. They're not super muddy or anything. There you go. You're typically doing this with a brush that's not your polishing brush, because this will get a lot of sediment on it and stuff. You don't want to be polishing with your, or rubbing in any of your polish with a dirty brush. There you go. And for saddle soap, this is great for cleaning leather boots. Just gonna add some water here. Don't need a lot. And make sure you have a cloth handy for cleaning off the boot after, because it's going to get sudsy. So here's our saddle soap, which is pretty much just a soap, but they think a higher oil content, or oil content to protect and treat the leather as well. So it cleans and protects. A lot of the time I just use the saddle soap, and that's good enough to clean the boot. Let's rub this into the water and then it get all sudsy. I'll give you a show. Here we go. Rub this in, and you see it sudsing up right now, just like that. Get it in everywhere. Get it in the tongue, get it all over. More. You can be generous with it. You want to get this nice and clean and saturated. All these crevices as well. I'm not going to clean too high into the boot because there doesn't have any dirt. But you definitely want to get in this tongue area, because any dirt that gets locked and trapped in here will continue to rub and wear away at this leather, which is typically thinner than the leather on the rest of the boot. And that's it. This we can just wipe off right away. The cotton rag. This is just a t-shirt, old t-shirt, but anything will work. Get this nice and clean. There you go. See how it looks way better already. You can just kind of leave it there, but we're going to do a full polish here and shine the tip of the shoe, so they don't get to quite a full mirror, but we want them a little shinier than the rest of the boot. So at least you're looking mostly squared away. There you go. You can see a bit of the difference with the two. Nice. All right, let's get the other one. See, just that took about 5 minutes once you get the goddamn laces out. Sweet. Again, clean up here in the gusset. Get all the dirt up, out and crap. Nice. And that's the end of the saddle soap. Put that away. Wipe down this last boot and get to polishing. Nice. So these have been pretty good for hiking and rucking in. It's got pretty decent support. They're good for heavier, rockier terrain. If you're in the city, you're probably wearing more sneaker-like boots. The ruck I usually carry, the weight is usually around 40 pounds, so it's nothing too crazy. All right, that's done. Look at that. Almost ready to go back to work already, but we're going to do a polish. So these boots typically come with a letter grist. Well, a polishing kit called letter grist, and these came with the boots, which is pretty awesome. But you can buy it separately as well. All it really is a kit with a brush for polishing. There's a polish itself, and this is brown polish. Lift this stuff open. There you go. I'm going to use this on the laces as well. And our final thing is the high gloss shine. There you go. We apply that final at the last stage. And there's what we call a put it on brush. This is where we used to apply the polish. So start with the right boot. So I'm just going to rub it in here and get this brush filled with polish. And we just rub it right into the boot. And I'm going to apply sparingly here because this boot's still in pretty good condition. But what you really want to make sure you do is get the polish in the parts where there's either creases that need the most protection, scuffs, and anywhere else. And so that's usually the tip of the boot, and right where you see me applying the crease of the boot, where your toes bend, where the toe boot bends. But you also want to get into the threads where the stitching is, because that's where water can get into as well. Because these are, I think they have a waterproof lining. Don't quote me on that. It's not a Gore-Tex. There's some type of GTX lining. And just a light application everywhere else. The creases in the boot will naturally pick up the wax from the brush. That's it. All right, that's one boot. Let's get this other boot done. And right now, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can make it out, but it's just very rough application that's on here. So a lot is on the surface still. We're going to have to polish this in for sure. Okay, get that in the creases. I'm not sure if I got the gusset on the other boot. I'm going to apply it to the gusset. Get this in the gusset, the threads, these scuffs. It looks pretty good. I think I missed the gusset here, so let's grab it now. There you go. That's it for the put on brush. Put that over there, ready to polish. In this one, it's going lightly and just rubbing it into the creases. Here we're polishing it in. Just rubbing all over, getting it in there. Into the threads, into the exposed leather on the side, so where the cut leather is, like right there. Anywhere that just needs reinforcement and protection, especially the tip of the boot. There you go. Look at that. See a bit of a difference? Yeah. You can see the shine, which is good. I'm getting squared away here now. All right, nice. Look at that. Almost factory new. Badass. There you go. Now we're done with the polishing. We'll leave this out because we're going to use this on the laces in a bit before we put them back in. First, we're going to have to do our shine. So we're just going to do the tips of the boots. And this I apply by hand. So really what I do is just take my 2 fingers, and this stuff is very fine compared to the other polish you just saw. You can barely see it. It comes across as like almost a fine oil. And this is what gets sort of your much shinier tip of your toes. Just keep rubbing, keep applying. And I'll go on a very matte finish. But you want to apply a few layers, and I'm going to use a cloth, soft cotton cloth, to polish it. What this really is, this is just a fine granule polish that just gets further into the creases and protects it even more. So you definitely want it in the creases in here. And the tip of the toe where all the scuffs are. That breaks away the initial leather treatment from factory. There you go. I'm just going to do the tip of the toe here. This stuff I'll actually need to dry, so I'm not going to polish it right now. I'm just going to leave it right there. Let's get to the other boot. And you can see, there you go. Kind of. It's a little more of a matte on the right side. My second camera is not working with this zoom. I'll get that up going for the next video when I do this next. There you go. Just keep on applying. Once you get it on your fingers, it feels like a very light cream. You're just going to keep on transferring from the container to the boot, rubbing it into all the fine creases. And definitely get the scuffs. Just keep on applying. There you are. All right, I think that's good enough. Let's get this stuff out the way, and let's get our polishing cloth. I'm going to try and do this on the table here. I'll probably make a hell of a racket, but let's see how this works. Well, will that work? CG? This is going to be a pain in the ass. I'm going to have to find a way to do this on camera. I'm going to do it by hand. Really, you want to do it like those guys you see in the mall or wherever they are polishing shoes, where they run in cloth very quickly back and forth over it. That'll really get it shiny. For the sake of live broadcast YouTube, I just use my fingers, and they'll do a decent job, I think. Yeah, there you go. Hopefully you can make that up. There you go. Nice shine. Perfect. Oh yeah, beautiful. That worked out well. If you're able to get it between your legs and just pull the cloth back and forth, it just works twice as good. Give it a real strong shine. Do that after for sure. For today, this will do. All right, there. These are shined. You see the tips? Pretty good. Let's get our laces waxed. Get these back in here. And to wax the laces, you want to make sure they're relatively clean. And these are pretty good. If you have to wash and dry them, that would be a good idea. Just put them in a bag with some water and some soap, even the saddle soap, and then just squeeze them out, let them dry, and then give them a wax treatment after. I was running them through my fingers here to get all the dust out. And all we got to do here is kind of press it into the wax here, into the polish, and run them through a bit, a couple times. The dry stuff will pick up more polish than the more moist stuff. So the areas that need treatment will get the treatment, and the areas that don't will be fine. Just going to run it through a couple times here. And then you just rub it into the lace yourself. There you go. Once or twice is good. And then just rub it into the lace, just like that. Perfect. Nice. Now we're treated. Put those there for now, so I'll mix them up. Get this guy going. Nice. All right, we're done here. Put that polish away. Let's get this, rub this stuff in, just so there's no loose wax on the surface. Sorry, polish on the surface. It's fair to say wax. It's not a wax polish per se, but there's some wax in here for sure. Awesome. There's my cloth. Okay. Let's get these in here. Let's relace and then we're done. Of course, we want to make sure these are even. You want to lace up and find out they're not even like a jackass. Get them in. Good enough. Come over. Still even enough. Get this through here. Nice. Let this one going through now. Sweet. All right, we are laced up. You'll notice a bit of the wax scrapes off on your eyelets. That's totally fine. Now with Altbergs, usually you think most boots, you do one more crossover, tie them in. With Altbergs, it's recommended just to give more flex and crease. You don't need the extra crossover here. It goes straight through the locking eyelets. I'll show you just like this. Straight through, just like that. You can cross them over and put them through the opposite eyelets, which I've done before. It really does lock your heel back, but it also restricts ankle mobility, where I'd rather have the ankle mobility because my heel doesn't, or my ankle doesn't move around forward or back or lock. I don't need to lock my heel back that much. These boots I'm pretty locked in, so it's good. They fit me well. But it's nice to know you have that option. There you go. So you always have that gap there. But there are times I experiment both ways. All right. I won't bore you with the other boot. I'll get this one done. That's me cleaning and polishing my Altbergs. Of course, we've got to put the knots back in. These in nice and tight. So next time we do this video, I could swear and complain again. There you go. Nice. There you are. You know what? Let's keep going. Let's get these all together. Let's just do it. Need a bit more there. Perfect. Yeah, so far these have been top quality boots. I'd trust them on a week-long trip and not to fail. They're just made really well. Good quality. Like I said, they are, waterproof boots. So if you're in really hot terrain or you're going a huge distance where you're not going to be encountering like constantly soaked feet, they might not be the best. You're going to want maybe a breathable, non-waterproof, non-GTX boot. But if you need a GTX boot, these are definitely recommended if you can get your hands on them. Sweet. Get my knots back in. And I'm typically doing this anyways, depending on how much I use it, but at least every couple months. With heavy usage, you might do it more. So all depends on how often you're using your boots. All right, nice, clean, ready for work. Thanks, guys.